Well, hello there, YouTube. What's up? Today is a Thursday, and that means it's time for more Pokemon Go PvP, which I think is very exciting. And based on the views, you probably do too. Today, I'm doing more Fusion Cup battles. I'm bringing the same team that I brought last week, but I am bringing a new opponent. Today, I'm battling with Garnet34, who is also part of my PvP practice group, Victory Road. Garnet34 actually runs an Instagram page called Garnet on the Go, and if you go there, you can take a look at his awesome AR Plus Pokemon Go photos, where he takes Pokemon, puts them into the real world and takes photos of them, and they are actually really, really cool. So if you're on Instagram, check out Garnet on the Go for those sweet Pokemon real life photos. So let's get into some games and some team talk.
Hey there, it's Grixis, doing all kinds of things. Hey there, it's Grixis School, playing all kinds of games. Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, come on down for all kinds of wild things.
Alrighty, so let's take a look at Garnet's team. Probopass, Cloyster, Bronzong, Whiscash, Venusaur, and Altaria. Some familiar faces, but also some Pokemon that we actually haven't seen yet, so that's pretty cool. I really like Probopass, and I really like Cloyster, so I'm very excited to see how these Pokemon play out against my own. And then down below, we have the same team that you saw last week. Focus Blast, Weavile, Alolan Marowak, Bronzong, Nightshade Noctowl, Whiscash, and Venusaur. So let's see how Garnet's Pokemon fare against my Pokemon and get right into the games. Okay, so here's game one. I have led with Noctowl, and I brought Alolan Marowak and Whiscash because there are two things on that team that die to ground I don't want to deal with. So I have brought in the two things that are ground to deal with the things that die to ground. So let's get right into it. Noctowl versus Probopass, which is a very unfortunate matchup for Noctowl. So I am going to pull the Noctowl out ASAP and bring in something that can be a little bit more handy against the Probopass. So I bring in Whiscash, which is good, but then Garnet brings in Cloyster. So now what I'm trying to do is fire off Mud Bombs, just like all of the Mud Bombs, because I want to get as many Mud Bombs in as I can before Icy Wind makes them not good. So here come the Mud Bombs. I've successfully broken a shield. I'm 2 Mud Bombs in, and I'm going for my third one here. I'm really not expecting another shield to happen, and a shield does not happen, which is great. Now at this point, he's been charging for quite some time, so I'm like, this is not Icy Wind, this is Hydro Pump. So I have shielded it because Hydro Pump hits really, really hard, especially with Stab, and now I'm trying to farm down the Cloyster. Here comes an Icy Wind, unfortunately, and it does not kill Whiscash, but Whiscash kills the Cloyster with Mud Shots and a ton of energy saved up. So what I do here is switch out the Whiscash full of energy in response to the new Pokemon coming in, and I bring out my Noctowl to kind of butt heads with Altaria. I am going for the Sky Attack, and I don't get the Excellent, but that's okay because Sky Attack still does a pretty solid amount of damage to Altaria from Noctowl. So he brings in his Probopass that is full of energy, and I shield this because it's a Rock Slide, and I don't want my Noctowl to die. And now I can bring in Alolan Marowak, who's got that sick Bone Club action, and I'm just going to try to Bone Club down this Probopass. That's really the plan here. Break that last shield, which is cool. And now here comes, I imagine, a Rock Slide, and that is going to just nuke my poor little AWAC. So I bring in my Noctowl again, fire Sky Attack immediately, and it really doesn't do a super good job now, does it? So here come the beats, Probopass, but now I get to that Shadow Ball, or not Shadow Ball, Nightshade, which is pretty good. Still doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but does some damage, and that's really what we were going for here. And I have lost game 1 to Garnet34, so let's hop into game 2. Alrighty, time for game 2, and I have led with Bronzong, followed by Alolan Marowak and Whiscash. So let's see how that plays out. Bronzong versus Altaria. This is a sweet matchup for me. I like it personally. I feel like I can just keep smacking Altaria with a Bronzong and taking this not very effective damage. So you're going to see here what a Sky Attack looks like on a Bronzong. Not very much. So I'm happy to keep Bronzong into the fight and just hammer away at Altaria. So I go for the Side Shock to hammer away at Altaria. And there you have it. I have broken a shield. So here comes another attack, and I am going to shield it this time because I don't want Bronzong to die. I want Bronzong to keep doing what Bronzong does, and that is Altaria stuff. So, Psyshock. Slamming away at that Psyshock, and I actually get through. I don't break the second shield, but I do slay the Altaria. And then in comes Whiscash, which is not a super hot matchup for me, but it's okay because Bronzong's basically dead anyways. So I fire off that Psyshock to try to get a little bit of damage in, and I am successful. Bronzong dies, and I bring in my own Whiscash, because Whiscash versus Whiscash, he may have an energy lead, but I have an HP lead. So I'm going to shield this because I suspect Blizzard and am correct. And now I'm going to go for a Mud Bomb after charging up to a bunch of energy. So I'm either breaking that last shield or killing the Whiscash. Either outcome I'm happy with. The Whiscash didn't die though, so that's neat. And now I have to deal with another charge move, and I'm expecting it to be a Blizzard. It doesn't matter. I have no shields. I take that Blizzard, and it does a lot of damage, but it's okay because I am full of energy now, and all that's left is the Cloister. So I'm just going to fire a bunch of Mud Bombs and hope to whittle the Cloister down as much as possible. So I take out the Whiscash, who has more energy, and I bring in the AWAC so that the AWAC can just die. It'll do a tiny bit of work and then just die. That's the plan. So I bring in the Whiscash, who's almost dead, and I'm just going to fire off Mud Bombs now and hope that that is enough to kill the Cloister. So I broke that last shield, and now it's time for my final Mud Bomb in the 11th hour. And the Mud Bomb goes off, and it kills the Cloister. So I take game 2, and we are now 1-1. So let's move on to game 3. So here's game 3, and I have led with Bronzong, and then I have Whiscash and Weavile in the back. Weavile is there because I really want to test out that Focus Blast. So let's see if I get to do that. So, Cloister versus Bronzong. Great matchup for me. So Garnet switches out the Cloister and brings in his own Bronzong. So what I'm going to do is charge my Bronzong as much as I possibly can, which is what I have done. And then I bring in the Whiscash because those Mud Bombs fire fast and hit hard. So in comes a Psyshock. I decide to shield it because I need my Whiscash to stick around. But there's another Psyshock ready to go. So I'm just going to let this one resolve. Does about a third of my health, which is pretty good. So now we know Psyshock versus Whiscash, pretty good. Firing off that Mud Bomb, I break a shield, and I immediately have another Mud Bomb ready to go because Whiscash is awesome. And I break that second shield. So now I have no more shields, and it is smooth sailing. Whiscash dies before I can get to a last Mud Bomb, but it's okay because now in comes Bronzong full of energy. Immediately fire that Bulldoze. Boom, 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 boom. Excellent. Kills the Bronzong, and now there's just 2 Pokemon left to go, Cloister and Altaria. So I'm going to let Bronzong stick around and just do its hammer shenanigans until I charge up, and then I switch out into Weavile. There's no shields here, which means I can go for a Focus Blast, like I've been wanting to do this whole time. And I fire off that Focus Blast, and it just clears the Cloister because of Cloister's Ice typing, dying to Fighting. So now it's just Weavile versus Altaria, and I'm pretty confident that I can get to an Avalanche, so that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So Sky Attack hits and kills the Weavile, unfortunately, but I have that Bronzong in the back, full of energy, so I send it out and I Psyshock away, and now I just have to get to that second Psyshock, which I have done, and I Psyshock and clear the Altaria, and that is game 3. I am now up 2-1, and we can move right along to game 4. Okay, so here we are, game 4. I have led with Whiscash, and in the back I have Alolan Marowak, and I have Weavile again. Really want to keep testing it and keep playing with it because it's a ton of fun. So let's see how this plays out. Whiscash versus Whiscash. This is a fun matchup. I'm just cool to butt heads and charge energy. That's fine with me. I know I can take these Mud Bombs. Yes, their Whiscash is also gaining energy, but mine's gaining energy too. So, we'll see how this goes. I'm expecting Blizzard, so I shield the Blizzard, and then in comes the Venusaur right as I fire a Mud Bomb. So I didn't get to do any baity kind of situations here, but it's okay because I bring in the Alolan Marowak. We've seen in previous games what Alolan Marowak can do to Venusaur, so that's kind of what I'm hoping to do here. Garnet34 fires off that sludge bomb, and I am really just trying to wear it down and charge my energy, and that's exactly what I do, which is cool. So I can fire off a Shadow Ball against Whiscash because Shadow Ball is real strong, and it meets a shield. So we are now one shield apiece. In comes a Mud Bomb, and I decide to shield it because I have so much energy left. I'm going to go for this Bone Club, and I'm really hoping that Garnet34 takes the bait, and that is exactly what happens. So now all I have to do is get to a Shadow Ball, and I don't get there in time. I lost the CMP tie, and Mud Bomb clears my AWAC before I can fire off that final Shadow Ball. But it's okay because I bring in Whiscash, which is full of energy and can just fire off that Blizzard. Ba-boom. Whiscash survives the Blizzard because Whiscash is bonkers. And now he gets to return a charge move to me. It's a Mud Bomb. Whiscash takes that, no problem. In comes Cloyster with no shields, so I take advantage of this again, and I bring out Weavile in an attempt to get to Focus Blast. And Weavile takes the Hydro Pump and just completely folds. So I send in Whiscash and go for that Mud Bomb because I'm full of energy. I know I can get 2 off consecutively. And here is the second Mud Bomb to come in against the Cloyster. And I don't think it's going to kill it. It did kill it. Awesome. So all that is left is Whiscash with like 2 HP. And I have Mud Bombs ready to go because Whiscash charges crazy fast. So that is the end of Game 4, and I take the set 3-1. So let's go into the last section where we discuss things that we have learned about Pokemon Go. Alrighty, time to just finish this off, talk about what I have learned from today's matchups and you know, the outro stuff. So, what I have learned today is that Cloyster is awesome. I really like Cloyster. And I also really like Weavile's Focus Blast. And these two Pokemon share something in common. They have a faster fast charge move, and they have a slower, fatter charge move. They have Hydro Pump on Cloyster, Focus Blast on Weavile. These moves are a commitment. They take a lot of energy, but they hit really, really hard. So if you fire it off and it gets shielded, that's unfortunate. You're now out of energy. But if it doesn't get shielded, it's doing incredibly potent damage. So sometimes it is worth it to commit to these big moves because when you get them off and are successful with the connection, then you're very likely clearing whatever your opponent's got out. So super kudos to those moves. I've also learned that Cloyster generally spams the Icy Wind to get the attack debuff. So if Cloyster is not rapid firing Icy Winds at you, it's very likely charging up to that Hydro Pump. So, you know, maybe keep that in mind and read what your opponent is doing. How long have they been charging energy? Would it have been efficient for them to be doing Icy Wind? Why aren't they doing Icy Wind? Probably because Hydro Pump. So keep that in mind. Another thing I was reminded of today is how Bronzong and Altaria is a pretty sweet matchup for the Bronzong. If you have a shield to support it, you can clear that Altaria with Confusions and Psyshocks. It's a bit of a slow grind, but it does get there. And, you know, I was able to do it, and I felt pretty comfortable doing it, so I'll probably be doing it again. So that is my takeaway from today. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, obviously right here, and Twitch under the name Grixaschool15. And you can find Garnet34 on Instagram under the name Garnet on the Go, where he posts AR plus photos of Pokemon in real-world environments, which I suppose is what AR is. So they're very, very nice. I highly recommend going to take a look at those, and that'll do it for me this week. I will see you next time playing some Magic the Gathering. Thank you.